Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the class. Today we will discuss Freundlich adsorption isotherm. What is Freundlich adsorption isotherm? Freundlich adsorption isotherm gives a relationship between pressure and the amount of solute adsorbed on the solid surface. So it is purely a relationship between pressure of the system and the amount of compound solute adsorbed on the solid surface. The relationship between the magnitude of adsorption and pressure at a given temperature is given by A is equal to some constant K into P power N. I request everyone to mute yourself, your video as well as audio, both. This is what Freundlich adsorption isotherm. A is equal to K into P power N. Here A is amount of gas adsorbed per unit mass of adsorbent at pressure P. K and N are just constants. K and N are constants. They depend on the nature of the gas and the absorbent. Of course, N is always less than 1. N is always less than 1. K is a rate constant. N is also a constant, but it is always less than 1. Now, based on the Freundlich adsorption isotherm, we can develop different graphs: amount of gas adsorbed versus pressure, amount of gas adsorbed versus temperature, and temperature versus pressure. First, we will look at amount of gas adsorbed versus temperature versus pressure. Because A and P are variables, we can say T as constant. When T is constant, that graph is called as an isotherm. When T is constant, the graph is called as an isotherm. What is A versus P graph? Amount of gas adsorbed will be taken on y-axis, pressure will be taken on x-axis, and of course here T is constant. T is constant. Now the graph looks like this. With increase in pressure, the amount of gas will increase and it will become a maximum at a particular point. After that, there will be no increase in the amount of gas. In whatever you increase the pressure, but the amount of gas or amount of solute adsorbed will be constant. So this graph is called as an isotherm. This graph is called as an isotherm. Isotherm means a graph developed amount of substance absorbed versus pressure at constant temperature. At constant temperature, the graph is called as isotherm. Now, we can have effect of temperature also in this graph. As we have discussed in the yesterday's class, increase in temperature will decrease the amount of gas, whereas decrease in the temperature will increase the amount of gas. So if you want to have high amount of substance to be adsorbed, then we need to decrease the temperature. At lower temperatures, the graph shape of the graph is almost the same, but here the amount of substance will be very high. See, this graph is drawn at 0 degrees centigrade. This graph is drawn at minus 29 degrees centigrade. So if you remember the effect of temperature and the amount of substance on the adsorption, then adsorption is an exothermic process, so it will be favorable at low temperatures. With decrease in temperature, the amount of gas adsorbed will be increasing. Now if we decrease the temperature further, then we can have more amount of substance adsorbed on the surface. Here the curve showing the effect of pressure on the amount of gas adsorbed at constant temperature is called as an isotherm. Similarly, we can also discuss the effect of temperature on the amount of gas adsorption at constant pressure. That is what is called isoster. The effect of temperature and the amount of gas adsorbed at constant pressure gives a curve called as isobar. Isobar. I'll draw this graph. On y-axis, we will take amount of adsorption. On x-axis, we will take temperature. And of course, here pressure is constant. So the graph is called as isobar. Graph is called as isobar. Now, as we know, adsorption is an exothermic process which is favored at low temperatures. Which is favored at low temperatures. So at low temperatures, adsorption will be high. With increase in temperature, adsorption will decrease. At low temperatures, adsorption will be high. With increase in temperature, adsorption decreases. So this graph is called as isobar. We have another graph, the curve showing the variation of pressure with temperature at constant amount of the adsorption is called as isoster. Here on x-axis we will take temperature, on y-axis we will take pressure, and A is constant. A is constant. On, on y-axis, we are taking temperature. On x-axis, we are taking pressure. And the amount of adsorption is constant. So this graph is called as isoster. This graph is called as isoster. Now, we know with increase in pressure, adsorption increases, but with increase in temperature, adsorption decreases. With increase in pressure, adsorption increases. With increase in temperature, adsorption decreases. So to have a balance between the effect of pressure and temperature, the graph looks like this. It will have a balance, okay? With increase in pressure, adsorption increases. That with increase in temperature, adsorption decreases. So when we change pressure and temperature simultaneously, it will balance to some extent, and it gives a straight line graph, and it gives a straight line graph. So this is isoster. Just take this formula. Rate constant for desorption is given by, it follows a Arrhenius equation, A into e power minus EA by RT. Desorption follows Arrhenius type equation, K desorption equal to A into e power minus EA by RT. Of course, we know all these terms, right? EA, activation energy, or real gas constant, and T absolute temperature. Absolute means we need to represent it in Kelvin scale. Here A is a pre-exponential factor. Without desorption, K is equal to A into e power minus EA by RT. It is called Arrhenius equation. Without K, desorption, K is equal to A into e power minus EA by RT is called Arrhenius equation. In this equation, EA is called activation energy, R real gas constant, T absolute temperature, and A is a pre-exponential parameter or factor. Now, if we take 1 by K desorption as tau, if 1 by K desorption is considered as tau, then we can consider 1 by A as tau naught. Then this equation, it becomes tau is equal to tau naught into 1 by e power minus, so it becomes e power EA by RT. Here tau naught, it is derived from A, so tau naught is also called as pre-exponential factor. Tau naught is derived from A, so tau naught is also called as pre-exponential factor. Here we are discussing about desorption. So EA is nothing but activation energy for desorption. Activation energy for desorption.